All right.
I'm ready.
We're ready?
I think so.
Dive in, Eddie. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your hosts, Nelson.
Ian.
Ed. We're bringing the energy, bringing the beer. Just had a delightful barbecue. Thank you, Eddie, for cooking the food.
Delicious, Ed.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Nelson, for buying the food.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian, for eating the food.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
As we love having Ian here all the time.
That's right.
He's the brother from another mother.
I'm here every week.
He's just a little milky whiter than the rest of us.
Yeah, they added a little more cream to this
Yeah,
stuff.
a little more
That's all.
cream.
all it is.
Did you guys see that clip that I put up on the story where he's like, they're describing each other? It's the two comedians from Curb Your Enthusiasm. You got the white guy, the black guy, and they're walking to each other. He's like, do you like your color? He's like, not really. He's like, you kind of like Farina, like oatmeal. He's like, do you like your color? He's like, yeah, I'm like mahogany wood. He's like, no, I'm like chocolate milk. He's like, yeah, but you're just the right amount of chocolate. He's like, you know, they pour a little milk in there. He's like, yeah, the perfect amount of chocolate, right? And I was laughing my ass off. I'm like,
and then here I am with no chocolate.
no chocolate.
A big old cup of cream.
Yeah, we're more of a mocha blend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm more of a macadamian.
Yeah.
Macadamia chocolate.
And we wouldn't have it any other way, Ian.
Thanks, guys.
We
Thanks.
appreciate
I appreciate it.
all of it. So, the first thing on the tip of our tongues, we just seen the trailer again as a refresher. Mandalorian, season 3, coming out
March 1st?
March 1st.
Oof, God. Starting a month off strong, huh?
I think that's going to be a serious pull for Disney Plus.
Well, Disney's got to do a little something. They've been a little rocky in the news lately, especially everything that was going on with theme parks down here in Florida, and you know some of the stuff with the leaning far too much into woke and dealing with the activists and trying to appease everybody and appeasing nobody.
Also considering that The Mandalorian is like the strongest thing Star Wars has going for it right now.
It really is. And it's probably one of the best shows Disney Plus has, period. I think it's got to be one of its top 10,
I would say it's the best show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I would easily say it wins.
I would have to agree.
Even with all the Marvel stuff, I still think that Mandalorian's the best show.
Yeah. It reignited a franchise. It literally did. Like, it brought Star Wars back into the main front.
So maybe their Star Cruiser Hotel, which they're looking to close here because it's not getting enough people, maybe they need to Mando theme it.
Yeah.
Or reduce the price. The price is the problem. For a family of 3, it's $5,000.
Apparently they're bleeding.
Oh, well, yeah. Let me do that real quick.
Yeah, they're bleeding employees. Whatever's going on there, they can't manage to hold on to the people that are doing that hotel.
So you can buy a fucking jet ski or stay at the Star Cruiser Hotel.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would be the first person signed up for a weekend of cosplay and reenactment fun, but the price point is just too high.
Not gonna happen, Disney. Not gonna happen.
Even if it was $2,000 for a family of 3 for a weekend of 3, I would be like, I don't know if I would still do it.
Yeah,
$5,000 is just stupid.
It's just too much money.
It's stupid.
It's too much money.
And the hotel rooms are pretty generic looking for the amount of money you're paying. The whole thing is that that's the interactive bits of it, but I mean,
if you got nobody in there, you can't interact with anything.
Yeah, exactly. You ain't interacting with shit. There's nobody there.
It's kind of like what some of these games aspire to do. They're like, well, if everybody's playing, this will be the biggest game on any platform. And then if nobody's there to play the game, then it doesn't really matter how great your universe was.
And that was actually a bit of a thing what happened with 76, but Fallout, they wanted
big open game.
The idea was to have
a single person
everybody that you see to not be an NPC, but to be a live person, everyone who wasn't like a ghoul or a robot. But then the maps are limited to like 12 people per thing, and it's a big ass map.
So you're never gonna see anybody.
Yeah, you just weren't running into people.
Yeah,
and it's a franchise that you don't want to run around with a bunch of random strangers.
Yeah.
But it just didn't lend itself, at least in the beginning, to drawing people in the right way.
But not to steer too far from the Mandalorian, because there's some pretty cool things to talk about. It looks like we're finally going to see the Mythosaur.
Yep.
Because in the trailer, he says he's going back to Mandalore to right his wrongs. And
I thought they were extinct.
And that's it. She said if you are going to find one, it would be on Mandalore, like
it's in a mine or
in the mine. And there are rumored to be none left. So he is figuring the only way I'm going to get back into my group of Mandalorians is to ride a Mythosaur. Yeah, okay. I'm all for it. It would be a great season finale or a great season opener. It looks
Start off strong. Start off with a Mythosaur ride.
Hell yeah! And it looks like either he goes there to the planet and there are other Mandalorians there, perhaps. Or that's a byproduct of him riding the mythosaur, and now he's like rounding up more Mandalorians to go to war with Bo-Katan.
I mean,
there's so many questions.
He's got the dark
speculations.
He's got the dark saber.
He does.
Only he can be the leader of Mandalore.
And
right
people
now.
will follow him because of it. I think so. Like other Mandalorians
That's
will be
gonna
like,
piss
"You got
Bo-Katan off."
Fuck yeah!" I'm really happy with Katie Sackhoff.
Baby Grogu takes over the Darksaber.
Maybe. Can he hold it?
That would be pretty sick.
Little hands.
That would be pretty sick if he could. He could just float it around and fight with it.
I know the Mandalorian's
Via the Force.
my favorite thing the Star Wars universe has ever produced.
At the moment,
so,
it absolutely is. Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I mean that and Jar Jar Binks.
No, definitely not. No. That's a low point of the entire.
Yo,
franchise.
listen, they could save Jar Jar Binks. We've said it before.
Make him a
Bring
Sith.
him make him the Sith.
Make him a
the
Sith Lord.
Most murderous Sith
Just do
of
it.
all
Just
time.
do it.
They should. Yeah, where he holds a lightsaber with his tongue and he fights with that. Like,
Listen, what if like Jar Jar Binks? Here's the opening scene. He genocide his own people.
He turns out to be the most.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind
cunning
seeing
of
it.
all of them.
I wouldn't mind seeing all the Gungans wiped out.
I
That'd be
mean,
awesome.
if they flip
That's
it,
what I'm saying, right? And then he's the last Gungan, and he's the most evil motherfucking Sith
ever.
I mean, the technology.
Swamp Gungan.
The technology that planet had made no sense. But if they flip it, where it turns out, because he's a war hero now,
Weren't they fighting
where
like,
all
like
of a
energy
sudden,
balls or something?
exactly, all of a sudden he has all of that technology behind him for a war that he starts leading against the handful of Jedi. I mean, if you do that, that means he was standing right next to some of the greatest Jedi ever
Qui-Gon Jinn,
and
Obi-Wan,
pulled the wool over their eyes through an entire war campaign.
He played stupidity.
And let's top it off. Make Nicolas Cage his apprentice.
Now we're getting.
Oh yeah.
Oh, come on. I'm in. You wouldn't watch that shit?
I watch anything with
Jar
Nicolas
Jar
Cage.
Binks, the evil Sith Lord, like the biggest body count ever, and Nicolas Cage as his young Padawan.
I don't know.
I would so watch that shit.
I don't know if Disney has the power to pull that off. I don't think
No, but it would be great.
It might save that poor man's career. I don't know what he's done since Jar Jar Binks, but the apology tour that he's been on. But oof.
Well, he needs to keep the apology tour up.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal is knocking it out of the park though, because not
yeah.
only is he coming back with the Mandalorian, he's in in my opinion, the #1 show on
Right
any
now.
streaming services right now. And
Yeah.
that's The Last of Us on HBO.
I have to agree.
Yeah, debuted last Sunday.
Yep.
Next episode is tonight. So good.
Yeah.
So, I can't praise it enough. 10 out of 10. It gave me those feels from The Walking Dead, the first season.
Yeah.
And Shay, of course, the godfather of The Last of Us,
Right.
is one of his favorite games. He even said they stuck with the script perfectly. He said they nailed every single thing. So
And
I loved it. I didn't play the game, but I loved the show.
And for me, who's not really I like horror shit, but not like horror movies. I hate zombies. I'm loving it. I'm in. So far, 100% enjoyed it. We watched it.
Edge of your seat the whole first episode.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, they're selling it. The actors are selling it. And what I like about it, it seems like the zombie portion is in the background.
Yeah.
And it's more of a story about the people
The struggle,
and the struggle that
surviving.
they're going through. And you know what's fucked up and believable is that even in times of crisis, humans find reasons to
be shitty.
fuck with each other,
yeah.
Yes.
and be shitty instead of pulling together.
In every single zombie thing, the most dangerous thing is never the zombies. It's
Yeah.
always the other people
Yeah,
in the
that's
survi-
always
that
the
are trying to
survivors.
survive.
I mean, that's the whole thing in The Walking Dead. After they get past the first couple of bits of zombies, the whole thing becomes,
Negan?
it's the other humans that are the
Ne-
real fucking problem.
Negan was the worst thing in the show. It was a guy with a fucking bat and a leather jacket. He was so much more terrifying than the
It was like
zombies.
fucking Andrew Dice Clay on steroids.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jack and Jill went up the hill.
But I was a little skeptical when I was like, what? Pedro Pascal's playing
Yeah.
Joel? He was so good.
He killed
He
it.
was so gruff and believable, and he's just a badass ex-veteran from Desert Storm. I was like, okay, this
And
guy's...
grandma, I don't know, man. She was kind of hot with that zombie mouth.
No. And I like the direction. I like the direction they went with the zombies. It's fungal in nature.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yes.
Just from the game. They go explaining in the beginning what could happen. If the world gets warmer and a fungus can adapt to affect human brains, there's nothing we can do. We can't make any medications against it. Nothing. We just lose.
And
humanity just dies.
And the reality
Yeah.
is there are tons of viruses and spores and even mushrooms that are exactly like that. It just so happens they're all in the insect world,
Right.
and none of them have graduated to anything larger than insects. But
that we know of.
one little jump. I mean, there are things that they do affect even things like mice and rats.
Yeah.
And that does transfer over into cats and into humans, and it has shown that
I have seen some people in the corners in Lake Worth that might be spored out, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. it might be spreading.
I forget.
You know?
I forget what it is. I
Florida's
forget what
warm.
it is because it's actually the reason why pregnant women are not supposed to mess with cats and clean up cat litter and everything.
Yeah.
But they have shown that does increase slightly reckless behavior in human beings.
That, I think, is a bacteria known as Toxoplasma gondii.
Correct.
Yeah.
There we go. So there is little things like that we
Damn, I
do
was just about to look
know
it
of.
up.
Yeah. I
He's
got
like-
you. I got you.
He's like, I got this, bro.
but
I
no-
was just gonna be like, fungus is among us.
Yeah,
but-
nothing so great like you see with like the cordyceps mushrooms and ants and things where
Yeah.
like
It
they're
affects
growing
affects
out
their
of
brain, grows on their tissue, and makes them go up to the roof of
So
a
they can
branch so they get eaten by a
explode.
bird.
Yeah.
They get eaten by a bird, and then the bird shits out the ants like stuff, and that's how they spread their spores.
Yeah.
They literally
Crazy.
use the ant, the bird fungus is scary, bro.
Yeah.
Mushroom-
the only thing I'm
mushrooms are
afraid
some-
of
ooh, boy.
is that thing that swims up your penis
Up
when you're
your
in the
ur-
In the
water.
Amazon River?
Yes.
That's actually a fish.
That's a
It's
fish.
a tiny fish.
Fuck
Yeah, that's
that fish.
Yeah.
Well,
Why
it's-
hasn't that
it's-
been eliminated?
It swims up your penis and then it spreads its spikes. So you
Why?
can't pull it
yeah,
out.
it has-
Why are they still alive? If
Because
there's
you would
anything
need,
you need to
dump
eradicate, it is
poison
that.
into the Amazon River.
Let's go. I'll bring the poison. Let's go.
Yes, they
Eliminate
have-
that motherfucker.
they have barbs.
People are terrible.
They have barbs that let it go in but not come back out. So to remove it, they literally have to
Slice your penis open
in half. They have to fillet it like a
and go in
fish
and get the fucking
to
fish.
remove it.
Translation: cover your dick in the Amazon.
Translation: never going to the Amazon.
Yeah, cover-
There are two places I'm never going: Mexico and the Amazon.
Yeah, those trees are pretty. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And stay the fuck out of the water.
Mexico, because after I seen that,
Piranha, anaconda, stay the fuck out. And fish that swims up your dick hole.
after that movie with Denzel Washington, I'm not going to Mexico.
Oh, Man on Fire. Yep. Great movie. Great movie.
And then
Another thing that's out right now that I just made you guys aware of it is season 2 of Vox Machina dropped
Yes,
Friday night.
They just put it out and didn't say any fucking thing about it.
They just pushed it out. That's what they did. They were
I
like,
can't
"Here it is."
imagine. It's
The first 3 episodes, it's good. They introduced the new bad guys that are involved.
Nice.
They do, and the 3rd episode ends with a
pretty serious.
holy shit, yeah. Like,
right.
oh my god, like
I'm
now
in.
what do we do? So
All right,
Yep.
I'm in. And you know what? That's
not
how
to
the other
spoil
season
anything,
started.
but maybe a beloved character dies. I don't know. Maybe you should watch. Maybe you should tune
I'm
in
gonna-
on episode 3. Just saying.
I'm gonna have to watch it now.
And the comedy's
definitely.
still there. It's just I think they upped the seriousness a little because now there's like an actual quest. Like kind of how the first season was like, oh, we're Vox Machina, we're stupid, and they were like going all over the
Yeah.
place, and you didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Here there's like a goal. Like holy shit, we need to stop this. This has to be stopped.
That's dope.
So they're kind of focused in this season.
I'm
Nice.
in. Just as long as they don't mess with my boy.
Who? Which one?
Scanlan.
Now Scanlan's still cool. Scanlan's still cool, and they don't fuck with him too much. He's safe.
But it's okay to dial it back a little bit. You know, I'm with it. I'm with it.
You also meet some pretty badass new characters that show up. They're not like main characters, but like in every RPG, they're like supporting characters.
Yes.
Like Grog gets his ass handed to him by a new character, and you'll see, and he's pretty fucking hoof.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
That's
pretty,
got to be a serious character to put him on his ass. That's like
with ease.
Thanos
Like
fucking up the Hulk.
no, just hands him his ass like that easy. No, probably easier.
Damn.
Probably easier. Like this isn't even the same. They're not even the same class. Like it's like oh
Okay.
shit, okay, but he's like neutral. He's a neutral character. So you're like oh well.
Speaking of neutral, let's get into what's going on with Facebook.
You mentioned this, but
yeah.
didn't explain it. So
Okay,
we have
so-
me and Ed actually have no.
There's a free the nipple agenda on Facebook.
Nothing
and
wrong freeing the nipple.
No, absolutely not. But it's something that just happened 3-4 days ago, and the oversight board's ruling as follows: censorship to post topless photos of transgender or individuals who do not qualify themselves as a male or female.
So what's that
So
mean?
they're
So
saying that you can basically expose yourself shirtless if you
you're
don't
trans.
If
treat
you're trans or non-gender, non-binary,
correct.
fluid,
mean
or
I
any of
get-
those kind of things.
We get free access to ladyboy titties.
So this is what's happening, or
Essentially.
or what you're gonna have is people that exploit any rule, and you're gonna have all these women's profiles that are trying to get you over into their OnlyFans and shit, and they're
Yep.
gonna be like,
And they just identify as neutral.
boom, and then titties all over Facebook.
I have
Now
no
it is
problem with that.
longer
I have no problem with that.
Place.
I have no problem with that. The world's not a family-friendly place. You know, I'm all for free the nipple. It's a much.
So you stand with free the nipple.
I stand with free the nipple. It's much more. You know, it's a much better program than enslave the nipple.
Right,
you know, that
right.
didn't go off too well.
We never want to enslave the nipple. But here's what I'm saying: like Twitter
Nothing
already.
against nipple rings with chains in them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying
Twitter already has the adult profiles allowed, right? So that's a place where it's like.
Well, Twitter's
It's
ridiculous.
there, right? Yeah, it's the Wild West, right? And that's
Twitter,
where
you're
it's at.
scrolling, it's like Puppy Flowers butthole. Like there's no filter there.
When you think of Instagram, you think of in the middle between Facebook and Twitter.
There's some Instagram photos where it's like, wait a minute, like
Pretty
how did you
risque.
get this on
Yes,
here?
yes.
How did this get on here?
But Facebook has always been the more family-oriented place. So I get that they're trying to be more inclusive.
Depends on the group. I've seen some pretty horrific
But there
shit
are
on
some
Facebook.
fucking lines. There are some lines. So if you're going to do that, what happens is, to me, I think they're making a huge mistake that's going to essentially allow another company to step up and fill that void of, hey, are they showing titties over there? Come over here. We're titty free.
Yeah.
I'm not joining titty free fucking Facebook. I'm on titty Facebook.
Can I tell you something? You're already on titty free Facebook.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm for free the nipple. Just put that little caption on it that says like, "Are you sure you want to see this photo?" Yes. Beep.
But the answer is always yes, isn't it?
I mush
Isn't
my
the
face
answer
into it.
always yes? It is, bro. It's human nature when they're like, "You shouldn't be looking at this sensitive content." I'm like, I sure am.
Yes, I should.
I sure am.
Yes, I should. I'm 100% behind free the titty.
Let's be honest. Here's the thing. All of these companies know exactly who's scrolling and how old they are. The fact that they try to be like, oh, well, we don't know who it is because no, you don't. You know exactly who we are by our metadata. You can more than easily say, this person is not over 18. It's automatically censored until we believe they're 18. The whole nonsense of like their inability to lock out the younger people from content they're not supposed to be seeing yet is complete horseshit.
Yeah, I mean, look, any kid with half a brain can just hop on their phone and find nudity. To be completely honest, completely fair. More nudity than we've ever seen when we were children. When we were kids, we had to work for nudity.
You had to fucking dial up the modem. Well, no, if you go to the magazine days, shit, you had to sneak the magazine. You had to hide.
You had the one cool kid with the magazine. Everybody sharing it, passing it around like their secret basement. Like, yo, psst, there's a stash over there. You can grab one,
I used to jerk off to the Spice Channel, and we didn't even have the Spice Channel. It was that blurry fucking thing where you'd be like, I think that was a tit. Like, I mean, shit, we didn't even have the Spice Channel. Yeah, the
now
struggle
these kids
was
are
real.
so fucking spoiled. They're just like, hey, Siri.
Open phone, show me Bob's and Vagine, and like something's gonna pop up on Google if you turn the safe search off. I mean, come on.
I think it's an illusion. It really is.
In this day and age, it is.
There is moderation, or that there is a way to keep people away from seeing what they want to see. At the end
all
of the
you
day.
can do is put the safe search on your kid's phone, and when they get old enough, teach them about it.
Genie's out of the bottle. It's not going back in.
If you don't teach them about it, Pornhub will.
But here's the argument, right? As a society, we're more inclined to allow our children to watch the horrificness of war and horror films and monster movies.
Every channel.
And gruesome shit. But a little titty, and we start losing our
here's
mind.
the thing.
And this is only in the United States,
exactly.
more so than other countries.
Because
Japan.
in Europe, it's the complete opposite. They're more than comfortable with allowing nudity and then censoring the
commercials.
violence.
Commercials in Italy. What the fuck, man? I was like, there's no way this would be on television. Like, dude, it's just
He's like, it's a meatball.
It's like a shampoo commercial. Like a girl comes home. I swear to God. I'm in a hotel in Italy. This is back in 2019. I'm in a hotel in Italy, and I decided, hey, let's turn on the television. I haven't watched TV in forever. I got streaming services. So I turn on the television in this hotel, and this commercial comes on. This woman gets home from work, right? This commercial was like fucking a minute long. Right. She gets home from work. She's kicking her shoes off. She's taking her shirt off. She goes in the bathroom, gets ass fucking naked. And I don't mean like they take a time. No, she gets completely naked, tits flopping, ass cheeks flapping. I was like, what the hell? Gets in the shower. Starts going, like, suds in her hair up. It's a shampoo commercial.
Garnier Fructis.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? Like, it was a minute-long softcore porn, and it turned out, and it was for Garnier, it was for some shampoo. I'm like, what the hell is going on
Shortly
here?
after that commercial, Ian's like, you got a cigarette?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, the commercials in Italy go hard.
Like,
they don't take no prisoners.
Like, Ian, give me a sandwich while the commercial comes on. No, baby, you gonna have to get that sandwich when the commercial comes
And
on.
we're bitching about
I'm here for the commercials.
The Janet Jackson nip slip on the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm like, dude, That wouldn't sell any shampoo in Italy.
Yep.
There's no way.
I just think it is a bit backwards, and I think society as a whole is just going to keep moving more towards that. Like, the censorship has got to go away. Like, I mean, even some things like
Well, look
I
at
believe
Japan. Japan's crime rate's so freaking low.
Yeah.
And they got, in their cartoons, they got nudity, they got violence. I mean,
tentacle sex.
Yeah. Yep. Saturday morning, that's their Saturday, and their crime rate,
Yeah.
it's one of the lowest in the world.
Yeah.
And their conviction rate is also super high, but it's also because they're just like, no, bitch, you guilty.
Yeah, you're guilty. You have dishonored your ancestors. You're guilty.
Here's your sword. We'll put it in your room. Please, please feel free to dive on
You
it.
can either do 5 years in prison or take your own life.
Fuck yeah. I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah, it depends on the crime. If they caught me like banging a sheep at the fair, I might commit seppuku.
Here's a thought. Don't bang a sheep at the fair.
However, it's been done. It's been done.
It has. I mean, that's what you get those little tokens for, right? I mean,
I remember the one year at the York,
like, do I get a big panda bear if I do? Oh, of course
the
you
one
do,
year
sir.
the 1 year at the York Fair in Pennsylvania, oldest fair in the country and in the Western Hemisphere, by the way.
Nice.
Google it. Anyway, York Fair, guy got caught banging sheep. He was found guilty. He
damn.
committed seppuku.
Oh, well, I mean,
As one should.
you're at a fair. You're at a fair,
Yeah,
sir.
these aren't the
Jesus.
mountains.
Dude snuck into
Yeah.
the fair to bang
These
a
aren't
sheep.
the mountains of Iran, sir. This isn't accepted here.
I don't even know. I just know it happened one year. I could
Sheep
Google it.
fuckers,
I could
God.
do it, yeah.
Oh.
No love for sheep
Lots
fuckers
of sheep
here.
fuckers in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. No love
They're
for
my
sheep
peop- they're
fuckers
my
here at the
people.
Sofa Kingdom podcast. And he's the
No,
only
we don't-
one we know, and we've accepted him a long time ago.
We are here at the Sofa Kingdom podcast. We are for you loving who you want, as long as they want to love you back and they're a human being.
As long as they're walking on two
Well,
feet.
speaking
Well, I
of,
guess they could be an inanimate object. I mean, if you want to fuck a mannequin, that's fine. We're fine with that here at the Sofa Kingdom, right?
Nope. I'm not,
We're
I'm
not?
not. No, I'm not with that either. I don't want robot sex, silicone sex. Keep it real. Keep it.
But do we support it here at the Sofa Kingdom podcast?
No, I don't support that shit.
Ed, can you fuck a mannequin?
as long as you're not harming
he
me,
can fuck a mannequin.
As long as-
but
can.
do you
listen,
want to
do
fuck
whatever
a
you
mannequin?
want, as long as you're not harming me or getting in the way of me making money and paying my bills and taking care of my kid.
So be it.
I don't care.
Okay, that's fine. I'd probably be a little upset if I saw you banging a dog, though. I'd be like, stop! Stop it! Even if the dog looked like it was enjoying itself,
okay,
stop it!
Okay, so you know what? Since we're talking about
Unhand
it,
that dog.
we're going in. There's the Little Dicky show,
Yep.
and there was a whole episode where he couldn't
Oh, no.
finish having sex with his girlfriend because he was so used to having sex with his rubber mannequin doll.
Oh,
and it's
man.
a comedy, so there's this
Wow.
part.
Okay.
Spoiler if you haven't seen it.
Dahmer slept with a mannequin.
I believe it.
He
But
also
it was
slept with dead
No,
bodies.
but this was just the bottom half of a mannequin. So it was just the ass and legs.
Oh, that's very Ed Gein.
So like
Oh, okay.
the whole
That's
idea is that you kind of wrap it with a blanket so that you're not seeing the rest of it.
There's
there,
a
right?
manual.
Oh yeah. So
There's a how-to.
Oh,
play by
okay.
he
play.
finishes
Oh, here
having
we
sex
go.
with his girlfriend, but pretends to nut, and then goes into the bathroom to proceed to have sex with this mannequin, right?
Wow. Okay.
So
Hey, they make rubber acid patches. You can just put on the end of your bed.
his girlfriend's like, I gotta take a piss. He's trying to fuck this mannequin in the bath. He's like, I'm taking a shit. She's like, let me in. I gotta pee. No, I'm taking a shit. Kicks open the door like, what the fuck?
Oh man. Hey,
Let
we
me just say that didn't go too well for him.
Hey, we don't like to yuck anybody's yum, but you know, I don't know. Try
I
to
just-
keep it human on human.
I just think it's funny.
Try to you know.
No, and look, hey, do whatever you got to do. Ain't nobody hating. It's just a funny thing to think about, but you know, keep it. I try to keep it real.
Yeah, we're all about love here. We're all about free the nipple. But,
Yes,
you know, try
yes.
to keep it legal within
Yeah.
the legal parameters of the United States
Eddie,
government.
you had something that was going on in the
Oh,
world
yeah,
of the
speaking about,
internets.
Oh, is this about?
Lo-
it's about certain video games.
love and people and all that.
This is about
One of
certain-
the
is it certain
biggest IPs, Harry Potter.
Oh, here we go. I did.
Potter.
There is a new game coming out, Hogwarts Legacy, and a new gaming studio was
Looking
created.
forward to it, by the way.
Was created to create this game. This game started long enough ago that it was before all the issues with J.K. Rowling. So there's a boycott.
Issues with J.K. Rowling.
And
Go ahead.
just briefly to a quick explanation of the issues that people have with J.K. Rowling. So people are forgetting she's a victim of domestic abuse and violence and sexual assault and things like that. So in her city, when the shelter shut down, she personally started paying to keep it running. Now, because of her history with things like that, she doesn't allow men in the shelter. It's purely just for domestically abused women.
Okay.
That's
Since
it.
Seems fair.
since I would probably say 99% of victims of domestic abuse are women.
And she's been doing this
Fair.
for years and years. She's been doing it for so long that back when she started it, it was like, yay, champion her. She's a feminist. She's looking out for other women and
helping people.
and all that. So
Admirable.
Yeah.
Admirable.
So a couple years back, Hogwarts Legacy started getting going before any issues. About 2 years back, someone had got a female researcher had got fired because she refuses to kowtow the line of ignoring genetics for men and women being different.
Kowtow means bow down for you layman terms people.
So J.K.
When you're westward
Rowling
bound.
kind of stepped up for her and said, you know, that this is a problem when we're ignoring science and fact
Right.
for other people's feelings and things of that
I mean
nature.
hardcore scientific data.
Now,
There
yes,
are certain instances where that kind of thing needs to be put to the side, and here are the facts when it comes to safeguarding individuals.
yeah. So here was one of her tweets that people got angry at her about. Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who'll have you, live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real. So that's when she stood up for this lady Maya, this researcher. That was, and that got her in some big issues.
I mean, it sounded like concrete, solid logic to me.
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
agree.
I respect every trans person's rights to live any way
Sure.
they feel,
Well, the
authentic,
whole
comfortable,
statement,
blah, blah, blah.
fantastic.
I'd march at you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans.
Still
At
good.
the same time,
Still
she-
good.
Yeah, so then she also says, at the same time, my life has been shaped by the fact that I'm a female. And she states that because, again, she was a victim of domestic abuse and assault, blah, 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 blah.
So she's
So-
not. She lived it. She experienced it, and she's trying to help
Yes.
other individuals
And
who are going through this.
She's stated many times that she's more than happy to accept you for who you are. She's more than happy to stand up for you.
As you should.
But at the end of the day, she falls on the areas of science where X, 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 Y. She's like, if I'll call you whoever you want. I'll do whatever you say, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, we have to face the reality of this and this. That's where she stands on it.
That there are two genders at birth.
So
Agreed.
now, the back.
Agreed.
So there's
Sorry.
what seems to be a very small community of people, not even necessarily trans, because some of the people on the trans side are actually backing her up
Right.
because they're like, we understand where you're coming from, and then there's some people that are going against her, but it looks like it's more like social justice warriors leaning into the side of the trans. They're trying to boycott the game, and
Which they're dying out.
God bless
Like they're
the-
falling
God-
at the
God
front
bless the
lines,
social
man.
justice
And
warriors.
They're fucking getting shot
it
down.
is.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what happened. They tried to start a petition, and what it has actually done is brought so much light to the game that it's now the highest selling game on Xbox, on PlayStation, on Steam, on PC. This game is not even out yet, and it is breaking records.
I can't wait to play it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, man.
And part of the issue
Team
that
Slytherin.
that I see is like you have people fighting an emotional argument against an emotional argument, because the people that want to play the game are people that felt disenfranchised, that felt different, that felt on the outside, and the Harry Potter books showed those characters in a human light, and people connected with it.
Sure.
So what they're trying to do is tell you to boycott this thing that
you love.
you spent 20 or 30 years with, that made you feel accepted in the world. Throw it out the window, because we agree with 99% of what the creator says, but the
But that
1%, that 1% that she doesn't agree with us with, she needs to be boycotted, because just supporting anything she does is absolutely directly harming people.
Oh yes, boycott a single mom who, through her creativity, turned herself into the richest woman on the planet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And who
Fuck
still
her.
manages to take time and finances to help those in need.
And that's the issue.
Okay, what a shitty person.
You got a
I mean, she
60-year-old
did make the secrets of Dumbledore, though.
And then Ed made a good point. Yeah, boycott the game so you can fuck up the lives of independent game
Yes.
creators that worked
You're
really hard to
talking-
create a great game.
There has got to be there's probably a thousand people in the studio that have created, written, designed for years now. Voice actors, before any of this started happening, they've been working on this game. So they're trying to put this company out of business, complete disregard for the 1,000 people. And then whoever's going to be shipping the game, whoever's going to be, advertising the game, and whoever's going to be selling the game, all of these stores and all of these places should just fuck off, because you're angry at one person because a 60-year-old billionaire who had to step out of real world 20 years ago because she became rich doesn't understand your nowadays issues with something where she used to be the most progressive person, but you spend 20 years locked up in your house because you can't step out the door without being harassed by everybody around you. Eventually, you can't keep up with everything happening in the world.
The game's called Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts
correct?
Legacy.
So the studio that's behind it is Avalanche Software.
Avalanche and Portkey Games, which is a brand new studio created just for the sole making of this game.
So Avalanche Software and Portkey Games. Don't worry, rest assured, we're still gonna buy that damn.
Yeah, because
game.
here's the reality.
Yeah.
They were
Expelliarmus, motherfuckers.
Yep.
people were like
Wingardium Leviosa, motherfucker.
Wingardium Leviosa, bitches.
out of all the hate that was happening about this, I mean, people are outright threatening her life.
Sure.
They're threatening to find out where she is, to give pipe bombs.
Yes,
She's like,
kill her.
Yeah.
Kill her because she won't let men into her fucking.
You're the
battered
people
women's
that
house.
preach love and
It's so
acceptance,
stupid.
but half of the tweets from their love and acceptance people are talking
hate.
about murdering and killing her or attacking people that are playing this game.
Social justice warriors are like people
Yeah.
in an RPG that only use control spells. Like they don't use armor or weapons or anything cool. They just like cast spells that slow things down,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
freeze you in place for a little, but don't do any
Yeah.
damage. They're the worst people.
You know what? Speaking of the worst
At time
and
of-
video games, I started playing this Hunter game.
Well, one last thing I want to touch on.
Oh, you
Because
sure? I mean, because you went on for like 40 minutes.
I like it though. I like when Ed's passionate.
at time of recording right now, there was a petition, additional petition started where they're like, hey, for the people buying the game or the people that are not going to buy the game because of the issues, donate the money you would spend on the game or not buying the game to a trans organization. At time of recording, a whopping $4,000 has been drummed up from all this noise on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram about boycotting this game. So it's clearly either the people making a big noise aren't actually doing anything to support the community they're talking about, or there really is nothing other than a handful of loud people.
Or it's really hard to actually contribute to helping out the world when you're an angry troll living in your parents' bedroom.
Yeah.
Or the story went on for far too long and Nelson's trying not to fall asleep.
All right, fine. Talk about your fucking Monster Hunter game. Jesus,
It
Nelson.
fucking sucked.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed. I
It
enjoyed
also
that.
made me want to fall asleep. It was
Wait a minute,
Monster
wait, wait, wait.
Hunter Rise.
Rise. Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna say, which is not Monster Hunter World, which I enjoyed.
Okay,
Yes.
Monster Hunter
Capcom. I'm a
Rise.
big
If
fan
you're
of Capcom.
looking to play a game and waste 60 minutes not doing anything other than talking to the villagers to be prepared to leave, I drew my last straw once they started discussing a camera that I needed to take with me to take photos in depth of these said monsters that I'm going to be killing.
The Monster Hunter World is
Just
like, it's like a
identify
biology.
as a camera and it won't be a problem.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's the
You
fucking
are the
thing.
camera.
Damn it.
Good, you can tell the story.
I was gonna segue into that, you motherfucker. so I gave up on the game.
I can't speak on it because I never played it.
60 minutes.
I never played
And
it.
then once they started showing me like the 15-minute tutorial to learn how to use the camera, I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. Fuck this game.
There was no camera in Monster Hunter World, but you did have to hunt like said monster over and over again to learn more about its biology and like and build like a repertoire on you. Like it was like you were killing it over and over again to better save
understand
its.
it.
I don't know.
They did that with the recent Pokemon game
Yeah.
where you had to catch it multiple times to actually fill out the Pokédex on each entry.
That's why my Pokédex isn't complete. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
it's just it was just too much shit. Like I don't mind the tutorial. I don't mind learning the game. The game looked like it was going to be easy enough to play, but there was just too much. Like sometimes you can let me start playing the game, and as my character is progressing, when I get to that next part where now it's picture taking time, teach me to do the picture taking thing, and then I could keep moving on. To be front loaded with all that information, one, you're never gonna retain it all.
Right.
You're going to jump into the game and you're going to have to go back to these things anyway. So it's always a much better system, I find, when a game teaches you enough to get started, get in the world, and then as the game progresses, you learn along the way.
A 1 hour tutorial means you failed to set up the opening of your game.
Yeah.
I was actually told to buckle down because I support JRPGs. You guys know I'm a JRPG
Sure.
guy. I downloaded Persona 4 Golden, which
Nice.
I'd never played.
yeah.
Big fan of Persona 5.
Right.
Loved it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So I was like, oh, I'll play Persona 4 since I never got to enjoy it back in the day. $20 on the PlayStation Network, probably fucking free for you Xbox people.
Oh, yeah.
3, 4, and 5 is free on Xbox.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah,
Download
they
it,
even
fuckers.
send coffee to your house.
Oh, do they?
Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Do they-
massage your feet.
Do they send a transgender to eat my ass? Anyway, so
They send them to free the titties.
So, yeah, exactly. All right. Well, anyway, so I downloaded Persona 4 Golden, but I was told there's a 3-hour like get introduced to the school, get introduced.
That's too much.
I know, but it's
Yeah. Okay, wait. Speaking of eating ass, this. I have to bring this up.
Wow, we didn't even make a one. We made a 720. We spun around like
That is the reference we're leaning into. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay, because I'm watching this show called Doom Patrol.
Okay.
Right? On DC.
Got
and
it.
so there's an episode where they turn into zombies.
Right.
In the first season or the second season somewhere, they were fighting off these ass demons.
Okay.
That they open up their asses and they have teeth and they chase you. They're just feet and asses, right? And they're supposedly the most diabolical race in the whole show.
Well,
right? So where
Two
would
of my
their-
favorite things.
where would their brains be? If you were an ass with legs, where would your brain be?
Inside your asshole.
Now the heroes are turned into villains.
Yep.
How do said villains fight off the evil ass monsters when they're zombies?
You have to eat
By
their ass.
eating their ass.
Oh,
To
boy.
get to their brains. So they're being attacked, they're fighting in the barn, and she's like, how do I stop them? She's like, eat their brains. And then she just throws her face into an ass.
Oh no. Oh God, no.
I don't think I've ever I'm by myself watching this show yesterday, and I'm fucking on the floor laughing
Wow.
like they're digging in.
I think I may have to take a look at Doom Patrol.
It's time to catch up.
Yeah,
Just
hear
the
me
whole-
out. I may have to shift gears here.
I just can imagine the writers' room. where
HBO
they're
Max, right?
Yeah,
Okay, got
HBO
it,
Max.
yep.
I
All
can
right.
just imagine the writers' room. They're like, in come the ass monsters, and now there's zombies. How do they fight them? Eat the ass.
These are the same people that are probably behind Peacemaker. God damn it. Jesus.
So sorry,
there's-
I had to segue into that because it was definitely worth
There's
it.
at least some brilliant writers still out there.
There
yeah.
are, and you know, hopefully they don't get silenced by all the fucking social warriors
No.
out there. Jesus God.
Doom Patrol is one of these shows that is fantastically odd. It's just one of these things. There's nothing traditional about it. It's weird as fuck. It's meant to be weird as fuck, but it is very.
You need shows like that
entertaining.
come along every now and then.
Yeah,
You do.
it's very entertaining and done well. And it's funny because I never knew Cyborg. He doesn't come into like second season,
Right.
into third and fourth, but is a part of the Doom Patrol because he's kind of like an outcast hero even in the DC universe.
They do that sometimes with a lot of characters, like for instance, like all of a sudden they'll put like Wolverine like on a team, and
Yeah,
Spider-Man
yeah,
will show
yeah.
up on like the
Wolverine
Avengers. Like,
is on every fucking team.
team.
Avengers, Savage Avengers. He was on the Fantastic Four.
Spider-Man
Alpha
too.
Flight.
He was on Alpha Flight.
Spider-Man, they throw him
Yeah.
everywhere.
So it's
Isn't he Canadian?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, and that's why.
Yeah.
Unless
So-
you watch the cartoon, which he's clearly voiced by an Australian.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
So I recommend Doom Patrol if you're looking for something unique, odd, but very entertaining to watch. What the biggest part of the show that you'll love is that every character is fucking flawed. And you know how like some characters are flawed and they have redeemable qualities? No. Every character is flawed. They try to do good,
But they suck.
but they're so bad at it.
Oh,
Sounds like the Umbrella Academy.
Yes.
talk about flawed and bad. Had anyone else here watched Velma?
No, but I read reviews and I don't want to watch it.
It is worse than you imagine it could be. There's
Have you seen the Witcher season yet?
I haven't watched The Witcher
Okay.
yet.
You need to watch Witcher.
I
Blood
sat
Origin
down
and
to
tell
That
me.
was
watch-
the worst thing that
I
I've
sat
seen in
down
a
to
long
watch
time.
Velma just because of how bad it looked like it was going to be. I'm not going to watch the third episode and continue on. I'm not.
Yeah.
It
What
has
do they expect though? Like,
no heart,
Right.
nothing at all tangentially connected to the original show at all, other than the characters' names.
Right?
Velma herself is a absolute cunt of a character. Nothing,
Oh.
nothing,
Cunty.
nothing
Love it.
redeemable,
So cunty.
nothing at all. And
Very
Fred,
underrated word.
Is she
Ah.
moist as
And
well?
The
You gotta
only
throw all the words out there, the magic words.
The only thing they do with Fred is keep pointing the fact that he's a man-child who has been so sheltered, he hasn't hit puberty, so he has a small penis. Literally. There's at least a dozen characters within 2 episodes that says he has a small penis.
Yeah.
Like, these are supposed to be like...
Mindy Kaling is against small
Dude,
penises.
It
There
is
you go.
god-awful.
Yeah, I watched about 2 minutes of it and I
And
couldn't go any
it's supposed to be
further.
like 14-year-old characters, but the opening scene is like a dozen of them in the showers nude, where it's like, aren't these all 14, 15, 16-year-olds?
Right.
Why do we got a half a dozen nude characters on? I get it's a cartoon and it's supposed to be funny, but
HBO.
it's just not even funny.
Yeah.
I don't think I laughed once through the entire 2 episodes I watched.
Sounds like the monsters.
Yeah,
It is.
That was a
Yeah,
rough
I
watch.
couldn't get through it enough to give
You'll
it
have to-
a valid
yeah.
opinion, but it was just one of those things like when you throw something on and you're so repulsed by it, you're just I'm not gonna waste my time.
You'll
I
have to
can't
give
do
me
it.
a reference point, so you'll have to either watch like a little bit of the monsters or maybe like half an episode of Witcher Blood Origin.
it
to
has
let me know
gotta
how
be-
bad it stacks up.
Blood Origin is still worse to me.
This is
It could have been great. So that's what makes it so. And that's what makes me so angry about having seen it, is that it had the potential, it had the cast, it had the story.
You could have
to
gave
be
it
great.
You could
but
have gave it
wasn't.
an extra point by just taking the Witcher's name.
I mean,
off it.
in the name of the king.
Velma's kind of fucked though.
In the Name of the King
Yeah.
was easily the worst thing I've ever watched.
I can agree with that.
I'd have to watch In the Name of the King again to see if Velma is worse, because
Really?
it's been that long.
Really?
It's that bad.
Yeah.
It is that bad.
In
the
the
fact
Name
that
of
they're
the
talking
King is
about
egregious.
green lighting another season,
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I mean, I'll tell you what. The worst movie I can remember besides the monsters is The Hateful Eight, and I would definitely put Witcher Blood Origin worse than The Hateful Eight.
You know what it is for
Definitely.
for Mindy.
I'd watch The Hateful Eight again before I'd watch the monsters.
for the
or
writer behind
Blood Origin
Velma,
again.
Mindy Kaling. She's done some great work,
Yes.
and this is
What else has she
why
done?
they're putting The Office.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
one
How
of the
the
writers
fuck do
in
you
The
go from that
Office.
to that?
She was also in some other shows that I can't remember the names of them right now, but she's had a successful career, which is why they backed her for this.
That's like
I mean, it's very clear.
that's
that,
like going from like Schindler's List to like Doctor Strange and the
Like,
Multiverse of Madness. Like, how do you drop the ball
it,
like
it
that?
feels very clear like they were trying to do the opposite of everything that Scooby-Doo was. But in doing that, it's no longer Scooby-Doo at all.
It's not, and you should
Like,
maybe
it
make
is-
a different show.
I mean, it is awful. Again, Mystery Incorporated on YouTube, by all means, worth a watch. This, don't bother. But don't. I cannot stress enough.
How
Don't.
bad it is. Yeah, I'm trying to
Don't.
find other things that she did, but I know that she did Late Night. She's actually one episode in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But the Mindy Project. She's even did an episode of The Muppets. So like she's done some things. The Office was her biggest thing. 158 episodes.
Yeah.
She was a part of.
That's what I said before
So,
when we saw the trailer. She's someone that I've seen before.
Yeah.
She's funny.
Yeah,
she
she is.
absolutely is.
She just missed the mark. She missed the mark on
Dude,
this one.
By a
there's
lot,
no.
apparently.
This is
know what I
this is beyond missing the mark. This feels like a deliberate attempt to make everybody hate the show so they could watch it to hate it to talk about it.
Okay, but I've heard comedians talk about this in podcasts before.
Bold
it's like
move.
they're taking a swing for the fence and they miss, right? So what makes a joke?
Jesus.
What makes
I mean,
a joke-
swing for the
wait.
fence and then hit yourself in the face hard enough to fall backwards and die. I mean, this is
But what
fucking
makes
awful.
what makes a joke
Harakiri.
racist or funny is the actual joke, right? Because a joke can still be racially charged and hilarious, and we
Yeah.
can all agree to laugh.
but it's not
then
even
there are some
close.
other jokes where you're like,
Yeah.
God damn, who are you, Judas?
Yeah,
you know, you
but
fucking Hitler.
But
Like,
sometimes those are like they're
but
close.
right? If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
But you can feel when the joke is close enough where you're like, I see where you're going for. There's none of that in this. There
Yeah.
is none of the like, oh, almost. It's like, oh, this is just all
Yeah.
bad.
Well, you know that's the difference between a Nazi and being gay. 90 degrees.
And that's how we'll end the episode. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast, where none of us sit 90 degrees.
Sometimes. Depends on my mood.
You can find us on all your social media platforms at.
Sofa Kingdom OFC.
You can find us on YouTube at.
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
Ian, take us away.
I hope you've been doing your job and not only forcing your family and friends to watch this, but then quizzing them and then excommunicating them from your life if they get the quiz wrong.
Fuck yeah. And we've been
Keep
seeing
it
the
up.
numbers rising.
Keep it up.
We're loving it. Thank you for your support. We appreciate it.
Oh, we hear your voices. Yes.
Yes, remember, kids, also, just changing your picture on your profile doesn't actually help anybody. Getting
No.
off your ass and physically doing something is how you help other people.
Make a difference.
Yes. My thoughts and prayers are with you, though.
Because that goes far. As long as they're Christian prayers. Oh, good one.
Oh, yeah. Got more serious.
It was good, though.
But it was good.
It was good
It was
serious.
in a good way. Yeah.